Welcome to Perspectives. This is the second episode. I'm sure you enjoyed our little conversation last week with Mr. Fawzul Hamid of the Hamidias Group. I sure did. It was lovely listening to perspectives of successful people like them, isn't it? And that's the whole purpose of this show here at Perspectives. We try to talk to successful people, successful personalities, and learn from them what we can learn from them, apply into our lives, and see what makes us stand out, isn't it? Today on this episode, for the perspective of yet another successful personality, I'm honored to have on this show Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe, who's the governor of Rotary Sri Lanka and Maldives, and at the same time holds the position of CEO and director at the CIC Group, which I'm sure you are all aware of. Many other things as well, Mr. Weerasinghe. As we go on with our conversation, we'll find out. How are you doing, sir? How are things? Everything all right? I'm sure you're missing the cricket, but other than that, in terms of your company, in terms of Rotary, things are going well for you after the pandemic?
Yes, Samir, my pleasure for being here. Thank you very much for inviting me. So I really appreciate the gesture offered by UTV today. Coming into the Rotary and the business, yes, we are doing well. Of course, even through the pandemic, we have done extremely well. So we have learned a lot, how to live with the disease and how to manage the disease to our own benefit.
Right. Let's start with your personal story itself, sir. You said you've been part of CIC from the time you left college immediately. So your corporate journey has been CIC throughout, hasn't it? Can you take us through your first time at the company after you left college? What was it like? Was it a different ambition you had, or was it something you always wanted to do? Take us through your journey, sir.
Samir, honestly, could be a little different to the present day youngsters.
Okay.
When I did my A-level, immediately after that, even during A-level, I never had an idea of, going for higher studies.
Okay.
The reason being that time due to this JVP, the unrest here, so lots of time the universities are closed and schools time to time is closed, and then of course I had an affair that time. I was dating a girl, so I had my own properties and wealth that time.
Right.
So the ambition very clearly for me, I'm not advocating for our youth today, but that time was to get a job and to get married. That was the only option. So,
and I'm sure that's the story for a lot of youngsters today. That shouldn't deter you from having other ambitions, should it?
So I thought most of them are more looking at their higher education. So what happened was, immediately after the school, I got the opportunity to get into CIC.
Okay.
So I was just not even 18 years that time.
Wow.
So now I have this, my journey with CIC Group is about 37 years now.
Okay.
So of course, you can judge my age now, right?
Of course, yes.
Then, of course, I worked in many of the sectors, segments and areas. CIC is a big conglomerate. And then I rose up gradually in all the areas. But one important thing there is, I can remember I did not have any much bigger ambitions. Of course, I was doing my job, whatever assigned to me. So my abilities and my commitment must be the reason for the senior or the supervisory people to see me good.
Right.
So I was, whatever the assignment they give, even beyond that I have been doing it. So I was recognized in many forums throughout these 3.5 decades. So gradually I got the opportunity everywhere. Not I was fighting with anybody, not at all. Even my other social career, I must advise our youth today, as long as you do good and you do your commitment with wholeheartedly, you will have the opportunities in your career.
Amazing. I guess sometimes you don't have to dream big, don't you? If you're just given a task and you do it right and you do it with all your heart, I guess success follows you. That's exactly probably your story, isn't it?
Exactly, because in certain areas you need to think big. Probably when you have a target to achieve, you have to think big, right? But then your path of career path, when you do correct things and when others see that you are doing good and wholeheartedly, as you and I said earlier, right, it is seen by your big management people. So you'll be picked up. They need the good committed people.
Absolutely.
Today what has happened in the market everywhere, the moment a youngster coming into a job looking for a vehicle, right, looking for all the perks, mobile, everything, and they want a big salary packet, right? But the commitment, when you look at them, they will try to run on the exact all the time, right? Or the attendance may be different. So the commitment and the ownership, whatever they do, there is a big lacking in my opinion.
So I guess there are no shortcuts to success. That's one of the things that we can learn from what Mr. Weerasinghe just told us. Mr. Weerasinghe, there is this one important part of your life called Rotary. You have been part of it for a long time now. I guess this started while in the midst of your corporate career, and now you are sitting on the highest seat that is there as the governor of Sri Lanka and Maldives district. How did that come about? Tell us about your journey with Rotary and what is it that you do with them and how it has benefited in the shaping you to be the person you are today.
Thanks, Amir. The Rotary, I was brought in by one of my friends. Two friends, they are in Rotary Club of Negombo, where I am from Negombo. So when I was told about Rotary, I did not know much about this Rotary, neither the activities that they do.
Okay.
But they invited me for a dinner one day, and then I just went for the friendship. And then I realized there is a, some organization called Rotary, not long ago. But then somehow I went in, may not be 100% willingly, but then thereafter I realized this is the place for me.
Wow, okay. You sort of found your calling, didn't
you? Exactly. Because I had this within myself to help the people and to share and care people, and also the networking that I was looking for, I was aiming at, it was with Rotary.
Right.
So there again, my career to this level, probably within a short period of time, the governor, the only person who achieved this level in Sri Lankan and Maldives district is me. Okay. It's only maybe 9 or 10 years in Rotary, not that much. So there again, I never ever look for positions or recognition.
Right.
Which is far different in today's context, in my opinion, what I observe. So I was doing my normal day-to-day activities at Rotary, again, as both of us said, wholeheartedly.
Okay.
I was recognized and they wanted me to take the leadership in Negombo Club.
Okay.
It's not for 1 year, usually it is 1 year, and they forced me to the second year, and I also thought, okay, I can deliver something more. And I continued the second year, and I brought the Rotary Club of Negombo to the greater heights in our district, which paved the way for me to become the governor.
Brilliant.
Which again, I did not look for it, and my people, my friends, other Rotarians, they wanted me. It came. I don't know how it came, but uncontestedly, those are the unique things in my career.
True.
I never had a competition anywhere in my life.
Brilliant. That's so amazing to hear, isn't it? All right. Other than being in Rotary, Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe is also very much involved as an OBA member with his alma mater, Maristella College, Negombo. He did mention that he is from Negombo. We'll ask him about that after this break. Welcome back to Perspectives. We are in conversation with Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe, the Governor of Rotary Sri Lanka and Maldives, and also the CEO and Director of CIC Feeds, CIC Group, if I may put it more clearly. Mr. Weerasinghe, we were talking about how you're from Negombo and you are from Maristella College, Negombo, which is a very well-known school. I'm sure there's no one that hasn't heard the name of that school. And I did read up that you're still very actively involved being part of the OBA of that school. This is a Sri Lankan thing, isn't it? Old boys always helping out their schools. I'm sure it's a very unique thing. I don't think it happens too much in other parts of the world. In your thinking, sir, how important is it that old boys get involved in the development of their alma mater? And in your experience, how has it helped your school and yourself also as an individual?
I think, Samir, as you correctly said, in our part of the world, people are much involved, especially in Sri Lanka, even after you leave in the schools, to get into the past pupils, or old boys or old girls, and then to support the school. Because you have a very kind of a strong connection with the school,
yes.
Because some of your school teachers, principals, all of them may be still there even after you are successfully having your life in elsewhere. So similarly, our OBA has been a very strong place. So I had the opportunity of getting to the OBA again, kind of accidentally, but then I realized the networking and the working with the seniors, which we really get the real shape up to the today's society. So I realized that we could do more, which we did not realize when we were at the school.
Okay.
Obviously. Once you leave the school, I mean, you will have more gratitude towards the school. You feel like, I need to do more towards the school.
You have to give back to the place that gave you so much.
Exactly. You see the difference, how your teachers are suffering. They were suffering, they still suffer, and you are in a better footing. So you get a kind of attraction and feeling that you need to do reciprocate what you have gained. So on that grounds, we have got into the school OBA, and during my period, I was the president for 3 years and another term 3 years later on. So we have helped the college in numerous ways.
Right.
And then we got the OBA also gone to a very strong level, not only in Negombo but elsewhere in the world. So we have taken globally. So the OBA is present globally as well, Samir, today.
Okay. So Maristella College does have a big OBA group, I assume, which members around the world.
Yes, yes. We have about 6-7 OBAs in Australia, then we get in UK, we get US, Canada, we get in Middle East, certain parts, we get in Japan, Italy, all over.
Right. Was there any reason that you didn't want to come to Colombo, to a more well-known school perhaps, or from childhood was it always, okay, we live in Negombo, so we go to a school in Negombo? Was it always like
Basically, that was the only school I attended.
Okay.
So my father, again a Maristonian, so he wanted, I can remember when I was small, he was boasting about the college, the discipline.
Okay.
Because it's a Catholic school,
right,
with the brothers' administration. That is why in Negombo, all of the Gampa, if you take north of Colombo, that is the best school today, highly demanded school for the students to come in.
Okay.
Basically, it is the discipline that parents are looking
right.
at. So my father was boasting and saying, you know, I don't care whether he study or not.
But he's going to Maristella, no matter what happens.
Not with me, he was talking with his friends and all. That what he wants is, end of the day, I know if my son goes to Maristella and come, he'll be a good citizen.
Okay, okay.
Right? He wants that. Not that you know, every parent would like you to be, excel in every area, but then his point was that. And that is, I can see today a lot of parents are struggling to put their child, enter their child into this college, mainly because of the discipline.
Right, right. Amazing. Discipline being the key word there, isn't it? Brilliant how school plays such an important part in instilling discipline in children. Right, time for another break. When we come back, we'll ask one last question from Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe. Welcome back to Perspectives. Today's conversation is with Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe, and he is talking to us about his involvement with CIC Feeds and also as a past pupil of Maristella College, and more importantly about his role as a governor for Rotary Sri Lanka and Maldives. Let's come back to the Rotary subject, Mr. Weerasinghe. See, there is this misconception that people think that, okay, Rotary is reserved for an exclusive set of people, and only these kind of people can, this group can be part of Rotary, only they can do these activities. Is it like that, or is it open for anyone, youngsters like me? And if we do join Rotary, how does it benefit us, and what do you do at Rotary?
Samir, it is an assumption by some people. Maybe some of the very senior people would have, thought like that. But if you start from the youngsters, may I say straight away, youngsters have a great opportunity in Rotary that will shape up them to be a good citizen and to bring them, with the leadership qualities and focusing them on their career development as well. So Rotary has 3 segments. The Rotarians, like people like me, after they are well settled, they have the opportunity. And there, I must add you, it is certainly not for exclusive people, but the difference in Rotary is it is 100% by invitation only. Okay. So one of the Rotarians should invite someone to come into Rotary. You can't apply and then go into Rotary. So somebody should pick you up, and then all the members in that club, generally those are the ethics that they follow, everybody should agree. So in other words, you are inviting and then taking into your fraternity a person in the similar manner or with all the qualities that they look for.
I guess that person has to be like-minded, like the other Rotarians.
Yes. So getting into these young people, Rotary has 3 segments. Firstly, the Rotarians, as I said. Then the youth team is for Rotractors. So Sri Lanka, we are very, very strong in Rotractors all over the Sri Lanka. We have about 7,000 odd Rotractors. They are after the school leaving higher education, probably maybe within the higher education or we are just starting their lives. So children between about say 18 to about 30, also youngsters. So they are with lot of energy, with lot of innovation. They are doing huge projects today, Sri Lanka all over. Then the other segment is the interactors, where the teenagers in the school, A-level, O-level students can get into this the movement, where they will be guided by the Rotary Club in that area who sponsor them. So they will teach them, guide them with the school authorities to uplift their career and the knowledge in various aspects, especially on the leadership area. So once, honestly, when you, of course it is remarkable, when you see an interactor with another student in general terms, you can see a difference.
Okay. Right.
Similarly, when you see a rotaractor against another youth, I can see a difference.
Right.
Because they are so clever. You bring them in a shape up in all the ways, all aspects, and they develop a lot of qualities. And they develop a lot of networking. For example, if you take the whole Rotary family, for me, if I go to Jaffna, Batiklo, or Hambantota, Gaul, or Colombo, anywhere,
there's always someone you know through Rotary.
There is someone. We have the app, you know, it's a matter of just getting and making a call.
Okay.
And if you say, I'm Rotarian so and so, I have a problem,
Okay.
they will be there with you.
Right.
It is amazing. Similarly, when you go to other countries, so Rotary is present over 200 countries of the world in 1.2 million people.
Okay.
And it's a massive, the strongest one of the associations in the world. And Rotary has a, mind you, the acceptance of Rotary is the only social organization having a permanent seat at UN.
Okay.
The Rotary has played such important role in world many activities. Even today with the COVID thing, Rotary is actively involved with the UNICEF and UN in the global area.
Amazing. So I guess it shapes your personality into a good leader, a good person, and you know, someone good at networking. In short, very beneficial to any youngster who's joining the something like Rotary. Okay, Mr. Weerasinghe, you've come a long way. 37 years in the corporate world, in the same company. For me, that's very hard to imagine, because for us youngsters, we're always looking for change, aren't we? But now, as you look back in life, and also when you look ahead in life, any particular plans after retirement? Are you looking at yourself perhaps retiring somewhere abroad, or over here, get a little cottage house somewhere far away and settle down? What's exactly the plan, Mr. Weerasinghe?
In fact, I was to retire about 2 years ago. That's my retiring age. So I planned for that. You know, I formed a company also because I like this, my area of livestock.
Right.
So that has been my success also.
Okay.
So the strong connections throughout the island and also abroad in this area, I thought I must get into this business so that I can keep me occupied.
Okay.
But then since my company wanted me to continue for some time, then I was thinking, you know, what to do, and there's no reason for me to, you know, leave and go. So I thought, okay, might as well I will stay at CIC and then not get involved in my own company business, because what is there to get more money? It's basically my involvement. So I have my own things. I have my properties, especially on that is another area that I like. Okay. Even after the retirement, I was planning that area as well, where I have some coconut lands and then various other cultivations I have done. Okay. So I can be with them and with my, I have 2 daughters, so both of them are married, so I'm a grandfather already. Wow, okay. So that's the area that I was thinking, even from school days. I could remember, Samir, just to add, you know, before the conclusion, when I got married and had my elder daughter with me, having a car, I mean, I'm talking about 80s, late 80s, right? Some of my classmates who went to university, they were not graduated.
Okay.
So my ambition that time, which was not very big, but then I want to get married and have a job and a car, that's it.
Settle down immediately in life.
And therefore today, when they have small children, I am a grandfather, right? So I'm having everything. I am successful, I think.
Happy to hear that, happy to hear that. That's what this show is all about, perspectives. We want to talk to successful people and learn about their life and how they came up through the ranks. And from this conversation, one thing I've learned is that, you know, you don't necessarily always have to have big dreams. Just do well what you're supposed to do, and then success will follow. Mr. Weerasinghe, it's been a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for attending.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for inviting me. I thank once again UTV for inviting me, giving this opportunity. Thank you.
There you go. That's Mr. Ajith Weerasinghe then here on Perspectives. We will see you next week with another very special guest. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. I am Samir Yunus. Bye-bye.